Hello, everyone. Let me remind you, while we are waiting for some other assistants, this session is being recorded, so we can share it with the ones, or you can watch it later again, or we can share it with the ones that couldn't connect. So you will be receiving the recording this afternoon after the session, right? Just for you to be aware if you want to participate or not, according to the norms. Yeah, this is being recorded. And my colleague Juliet and me, the two of us, we will be delivering the session. So my name is Juan. Let's introduce ourselves in we wait. My name is Juan, and I manage the Seedbed hub from Bilbao for the Bilbao, where we cover all southern Europe. That includes Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece, Turkey, Malta, Cyprus, and Israel. And this is my colleague Juliet, which is the fund manager for Bilbao. Hi, Juliet.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning to everyone.
Are you starting, Juan, or are you starting?
Okay, let's begin. Yep.
Okay, so I think
Okay,
we're
then.
all, how many are we?
We are 16 now.
Okay, nice, small group.
Yeah, it's a small group, so it's nice. We're gonna make it cozy, and please share all your doubts and other comments you might have about the programs. We have planned a short presentation. It will be around 15 to 20 minutes. And then the idea is to have a lot of space to talk with you and to know about your doubts and your comments about the incubation and acceleration programs of EIT Food. So let's begin. You know that EIT Food, it's a European food initiative, and our mission is to make the food system more sustainable, healthy, and trusted. And the key part of the EIT Food is our community. Yeah, we gather the largest community of companies, startups, and investors in Europe around the food ecosystem. You can see there some of the logos of the companies that we work with in innovation, in education, in entrepreneurship, and in public engagement programs. Yes. Today we're going to be only talking about the entrepreneurship programs, but you can ask for any of the others. Yeah. This webinar was focused on startups, so I hope all of you are startups interested in our programs. That's why you should be here. For us, it's actually a pleasure to be here today. So our role is to create this community to bring all players together and guide and accelerate the innovation process that will transform the food system. And we have more than 200 companies in our community. For entrepreneurs, we also have a huge, actually 4 different ways of finance entrepreneurs and to invest in the most promising agri-food startups of Europe. The first one is the direct financial support that we provide through our entrepreneurship programs that are all grants, sub-grants, or prizes, equity-free, that you can apply to those by participating in one of other programs. The second one is the EIT Food Impact Fund. We created in 2019 an impact fund and the EIT Food that we will explain later, I think. But I can advance you that it invests up to 300,000 euros per startup. Then we share the Food Sparks Fund with our colleagues of PeakBridge, and that's another fund that we are using, another tool that we are using to invest in startups. And of course, we have a huge EIT Food investors community that is that gathers a lot of early stage and later stage business angels, VCs, private equity, and family offices across Europe that invest in the food system. Here you can see some of the companies that are in our portfolio. Most of them have been invested by the EIT Food Impact Fund and by the Food Sparks Fund. You will have this presentation later, so you can search for those startups online later if you want to know more information. I won't go deep. I won't go deeper in this, but of course you can always search for that. And today we will be explaining you these 3 flagship programs. This is the key of our presentation today. We have 3 programs focusing on different stages of the startups. We have 1 program for the launch stage, the Seedbed incubator, which I manage. That is for aspiring entrepreneurs, newly formed startups that needs market and technology validation. Then we have the Accelerator, which is the EIT Food Accelerator Network. We call it FUN as well, FIN, for pre-seed funding startups aiming to achieve pilot and investment readiness. And we also have the Rising Food Star community for scale-ups that are willing to scale their projects all across Europe once they have their market covered. So, Juliet, anything to add here, or let's begin?
No, all good. We'll go into them in more detail.
Great, let's continue then. Let's start with the Seedbed incubator. Let me change. My computer is slow now. There we go. And in all of these programs, we have 6 focus areas when we accelerate. Actually, these focus areas are focus areas that we work in every entrepreneur programs in the EIT food community. Alternative proteins, we know that the protein situation is a key part of our food system, the protein sector. We are looking for alternative proteins to make more sustainable that field. We also look for startups and projects that helps targeted and personalized nutrition. We know that this is a future trend that is actually starting to happen, and we're looking for startups in that field. Of course, sustainable agriculture and sustainable aquaculture are 2 of the key parts. These are the most broader focus area that we work. Digitalized traceability, another key aspect of the food ecosystem. We know, as we mentioned, our mission is to make the food system more trusted, and the digitalized traceability is a key part of this. And of course, circular food system to make it more sustainable. All of these, as you can see, every one of these focus areas is aligned to one of the SDGs of the United Nations. So we actually are starting to measure our impact through that methodology. And let's begin with the Seedbed incubator. The Seedbed incubator is a program that is run all across Europe in 5 different hubs. We, Juliet and me, we manage the Bilbao hub for the programs. And we also have this program in Denmark, in UK, in Germany, and in Poland. You can see the cities there. And actually, you can apply to any of those cities, depending on your market and your country of residence. Yes, as I mentioned before, from the Spanish hub, we manage Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece, Turkey, Malta, Cyprus, and Israel for Seedbed. So if you are located in one of those countries, I really encourage you to apply to the Bilbao hub as a first option, and you can always apply to any of the others as a second option, right? If your market happens to be in the German market, for example, because you have developed this... I'm sorry, Vasilis, I'm going to mute you. We will open the microphone later, okay? As I was mentioning, if you are if you are interested in applying to any of the other hubs, even when you are located in one of our countries that we manage from Spain, you're free to do so. But our recommendation is, if you are located in one of those programs, apply as first option Bilbao hub, because you will have more possibilities for being selected, right? And you can apply to one of the others as a second option. And what do we provide here in the Seedbed incubator? Of course, as it's an incubator, you have access to training and mentoring to identify your business assumption and to validate those assumptions with the stakeholders. We will be working with entrepreneurs in residence that will have weekly or bi-weekly meetings with you to help you do this validation. Yeah, at the beginning of the program, we create a roadmap together of validation, and then you will be having contact with our community to validate that. It can be validate your market, validate your product, validate your technology, validate your product market fit, or even to try to create some projects together. But as we are looking for early stage startups, the main output is not to have a pilot at the end, which is a goal for the accelerator, but the main goal is to validate your assumptions and have a clear roadmap after the incubation process. For that, for those activities, we will give 6,000 euros of a grant that will be distributed in 3 payments of 2,000 euros across the program while you are achieving your milestones of this roadmap. And this money should be invested in validation. Yes, if you need to make some technological tests, small technological tests, you can. If you need to travel to see some partner of future client, you can use that money, and you can use that money also to come to Bilbao when we will deliver some on-site activities if the situation allows. Most of the program, let me tell you, most of the program is virtual. You will be at your places, at your origin places, working with us, and you will have to travel to Bilbao 1 or 2 times across the year, right? And at the end of the program, some of the startups will receive a follow-on support to create a company, fund pilot, feasibility test, or increasing the relationship with one of our EIT food companies or business or financial services. Right, the follow-on support is not for all startups; it's for up to 12 startups across Europe, and we will have 40 startups selected in Seedbed. Yes, 8 startups are selected by each one of the hubs that you can see over there. Who can apply to the Seedbed incubator? We have 3 specific profiles that we are looking for here. The first one is aspiring entrepreneurs, teams that doesn't have a registered company yet, but they are looking to validate the market and launch a new company soon. Also, a key aspect of our scouting process are entrepreneurial academics. We know that in the research centers at the universities, there are a lot of science and technology that can convert into a successful startup if they reach the market. We want to have you in our program so we can help you to create that spin-off and commercialize that intellectual property as well. And the third part are the newly formed companies. Spin-out to startups, typically younger than 12 months of the year, but that's not a key aspect. If you were registered before that, that's not a problem, as long as you need to validate the market potential of your innovation and establish partnership, and you consider yourself an early stage startups. Yeah, so if you fit in one of these 3 profiles, feel free to apply to Seedbed, because you are eligible to apply to participate. Here we have some of the startups that participated last year. There are from space, a startup from Italy that they were using satellite technology to manage the fields, especially for vineyards, solar projects, carbon farming startup that they were looking to create, to increase the quality of the carbon measures on agriculture. Rewow using olive oils to create new polymers. Biotico, they are using coffee waste to create new enzymes for the textile industry. Viridius is making robotics for harvesting blueberries and raspberries. And Tetis, they are creating new collagen extractions technology from the fishing industry. So these are some examples. As you can see, they are aligned into our 6 focus area. Let's pass the microphone to Juliet.
Okay,
Juliet.
hi.
Hi.
So this is taking you on to the Accelerator. It's the next step up from the Seedbed incubator program. So the Accelerator is designed for startups that are now at may have a grant or at pre-seed or seed stage. So usually we're looking at around so that there is some sort of funding, whether it be grant, pre-seed or seed. It's also for startups that already have some commercial traction, so they have some sales revenue, and that they have the possibility or can pilot with companies. So a prototype technology is validated, and of course you need to have a team. So at least be a minimum team of co-founder or founder, but usually the startups that join our program have a team of at least 5 people. The Accelerator runs in 6 different hubs. So there's the Bilbao hub. The Bilbao hub tends to be for startups that are based in Southern Europe, but of course it's also open to startups all around Europe. Then there's a hub in Paris, in Cambridge, in Munich, in Helsinki, and in Haifa in Israel. The main benefits of the Accelerator is that it's a 4-month program. So it starts mid-June and ends in October. And during these 4 months, you'll have a mentor, an entrepreneur in residence that will accompany your development and growth of your startup. You'll have access to trainings that will help you as an entrepreneur to develop and grow. The trainings are mainly focused on fundraising, communications in terms of your pitching, your key messaging, negotiations, cash flow, basically everything that's very much relevant to the growth of your startup at this stage. We make the trainings quite bespoke, so we assess your needs as soon as you're selected into the program. The other part of the program that you will also have access to is that as soon as you're selected, we connect you to the partners that are part of the EIT Food Accelerator network. So these are on the website, but I'll go through them in the next slide. But we connect you to them. There's a matchmaking, and if there's an interest on their side and on your side, you have a possibility to do a pilot project, and there's a fund to support this pilot. We then also have 3 partners in the Basque country, so in Bilbao. One is a research institute called ASTI, so they focus very much on food research. So you have the possibility to do any further product development with them. You also have the opportunity to work with NACA, that's another local partner for agricultural investigation. So if you need to do any testing on the fields, you can do it with them. And then we also work with the Basque Culinary Center, and they are very much developed on the niche high-end gourmet market. So any kind of product development recipes you need to do where you are catering restaurants, chefs, etc., they would be a great partner to do that with. So the slide just in front of you, this is very much our corporate partners of the EIT Food Fan Network. So as you can see, we work closely with Danone, Suzuka, PepsiCo, IFF, Zoetis, Dula, Bayer, John Deere, Sofetra, and Strauss and John Deere. And there are a couple more that you'll see on the website. So as I was mentioning, these are the ones, these are the partners that are looking to do pilots with the startups that join our program. So in summary, why join the Bilbao program? Well, when you join the program, you'll get a grant of 15,000 euros. This grant is it's equity free. we give you this grant. One is to participate in the program. We'll do a couple of weeks in Bilbao. Usually you can expect 3 weeks in person during the 4 months. This will be in Bilbao, Madrid, and other events that we will be holding that are for networking or meeting investors. The training we provide is very much focused on investment readiness, pilot readiness, and broadening your network with industry players and investors. And finally, as I mentioned before, access to technical facilities for product development or further testing. So these are the 3 partners we work with. We will send you the slides afterwards so you can look into it. These are some examples of the startups that have joined our program. So we very much look at, as Juan mentioned at the beginning, the various focus areas. So the type of startups that join the accelerator are, for example, Crover are very much looking at robotics. Crover for monitoring waste in silos, grains. They look at managing waste in silos for grains. Rover is robotic weeding using laser. Nova Meat is for the plant-based printing. So they provide the technology for plant-based meat and to have the same texture as real meat. Kianos that does microalgae, Epunetra that does natural digestive supplements, color sensing very much in food waste, traceability, Oscillium also very much in food safety, Plante in sensors for monitoring irrigation, Wise Crop for more effective agricultural methods for farmers, and EcoBloom in hydroponics indoor farming. So these are some examples of type of startups we have brought into our programs. These are just some feedback from the entrepreneurs. Generally, what's been extremely useful for them has been the training, although some entrepreneurs feel that they don't need this. They do realize that they do need it, especially when they are in their fundraising, getting advice from investors or experts that we bring on, pitching, using kind of engaging with your audience, and also managing all the financial aspects of your business. And the people we bring in have also the mentors. We bring in great mentors. We carefully assess the mentors and also do very diligent matchmaking to ensure that the startup and the mentor are well connected. So any questions on the Food Accelerator Network we can take on afterwards. This is the 3rd program. This is the Rising Food Star Association. So Rising Food Star Association is very much like a club of entrepreneurs. It's kind of an exclusive club. Every year we take on a number of candidates. So startups that, as Juan mentioned, that are scale up. So they're looking to internationalize. They are now at Series A funding. And what they will get by being part of the Rising Food Star Association is access to the open calls when they get put out to collaborate with research institutions and companies. So every year there are various calls that go out to collaborate, and there's a budget, an EU budget, to support this collaboration. And so you have you apply to it, you have priority access to this, and an opportunity to collaborate. There's also support in attending events with the association. So they select key food tech events, and also connecting you with investors, again, for the EIT Food Network, and also direct investments. The application process, well, it's all online, and the first thing you need to do is register to the community. And if you are then interested in one of our programs, you have to answer a couple of questions. This is so that they can see which program you're best suited for. You then get an email telling you if you are most suited for the Seedbed or the Accelerator or the Rising Food Star, and then you proceed with your application. Applications are closing quite soon, on the 28th of February at midnight. So if anyone has any questions for Juan or myself, please go ahead.
Please activate activate your microphones or use the chat as long as you want. I can see a couple of questions in the chat by Simone. Yes, Simone, did you open your microphone as well? So if you want to speak out, just feel free. I will stop sharing. You have our email addresses over there, but you will have this presentation later. Simone's question is when or where you can choose which hub you will be able to allocate. Okay. In the application process, in the application form, you have a specific questions when we are asking you which is your first option and your second option. So when you're completing your application form, you will have these questions and you will be assigned to the ones that you choose, actually. Gabriela, you have another question from Denise, then I will move on to you, Gabriela. Okay, we have another question in the chat before. I don't know which was first. Dennis from WeCode, we have two questions. How many startups accepted for fun? Juliet?
Yeah, so in total 60 because there are 6 hubs. So 10 startups per hub.
And also accepting solutions like sustainable lifestyles support platform.
Not really, unless it's directly related to nutrition or health. But then I know sustainable lifestyle is probably also linked to health, so more nutrition.
Yeah. As you know, one of our targets is one of our focus area is target nutrition. So if you can fit in that area, then you can apply. Gabriela, you can open your microphone.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Very, very clear. I had a question for the FUN program. When you mentioned the pilot project should be something, one of the requirements. Even if the pilot project right now is not in one of the area that you mentioned in Europe, if we have data in countries that are outside of European Union for now?
Yes, that's fine. Yes, okay. That's absolutely fine. Yeah. Okay. So what we ask is that you have the possibility to do pilots. So you have a valid prototype, and if we were to connect you, you could do a pilot. So if you've already got one, that's a good thing because you can good thing to mention in your application.
Okay. And the other question that I brought here, it was related to you mentioned the type of funds can be allocated, can be spent as a grant. So there are some restriction on the type of, let's say, procurement, eligible costs or something like that, because you mentioned travel, some training and, pay consultant or something like that. It's open or there are,
Okay, yeah, so when you join the Bilbao hub, this is specific to Bilbao, you're given access to a grant of 15,000 euros. And this grant, you can use it how you want, but we encourage, it's for the startup, it's for your business, obviously. And it's also to be used for any travel that is needed, accommodation, when you are participating in the program. So when you come, so we'll have a couple of events in Bilbao, in Madrid, and then maybe in other European cities, because it's part of the networking of the EIT Food, where you'll be meeting industry players or investors, and you can use that fund to also pay for this. And then a part of it, we encourage, if it's relevant for you, to do any further product development or testing with one of our 3 partners, which was NACA in agriculture, ASTI in food research, and the Basque Culinary Centre, which is very much focused to the gastronomy food market.
Okay.
And in order to, when you're given this grant, we split it in different periods of the 4 months, and we require you to meet some criteria. The main criteria is obviously participation in the program, the attendance of the workshops, the events, etc. And also we developed some milestones with your coach. So
so it will be planned specific, also the delivery. Okay, the delivery of the tranche, let's say.
Yes. but it's all focused on your startup. It's not us saying you need to achieve this. It's what you would like to achieve. And you work that together with the mentor or the coach we bring in.
Okay, clear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gabriela. I think that Daniela, I believe you're next, and then Simone again.
Yeah. Thank you for your presentation. I am interested in the Seedbed program and regarding the essential criteria. When you write on the terms and conditions that the applicant shall have stable and sufficient resources of funding to maintain his or her activity throughout the period for which the funding is awarded and to participate in its funding, financial capacity. Can you deeper explain this point?
Yeah, basically the aspect of that point is that you should have the resources to dedicate full time to the company. So that to dedicate a full time to the projects that you are doing. That this is not a side project of you, but you have either the savings or a salary or a small salary to maintain yourself during the program to dedicate most of your time to the startup. For example, we have researchers from the universities which are developing a technology, and the university is paying their salary to create these startups, and that's fine because the research and the startup are very aligned together, and you can dedicate a lot of time to the startup. So it's based on that. It's based not that you need to have a full-time job and then you have a startup as a second activity.
An independent economic situation for all participants in this case.
Yes.
Yes,
at least the CEO should be full-time, and then it can have a team of part-time because this is early stage startups and we are very aware of that. But the CEO, the leader of the project, should be full-time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Simone or Simone, I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry. Oh, I can hear you. Your microphone is not working. Your microphone is on, but it's not working. Yes, actually, yeah, okay. Juliet, you already responded. Meanwhile, Turkish startups are welcomed. So our region from Spain is Turkey as well. Simone, I don't think your microphone works. Try again.
Is it now? Is it
now, yes.
Sorry. Muchas gracias.
De nada.
Presentation. And I have a question. We have fits for the accelerator, but also for the rising star. And I read in the application that we should choose for one. But as we have both, yeah, we have traction already, we have a pilot, we have a lot of requests for pilot. So I wonder to which program we should fit, or we should apply for.
Well, perhaps, do you want to tell us what level funding you're at? Because that's also one of the determining factors.
Yeah, we had from the Public Support Bank a funding and from 2 business angels. And we are looking for more because we have really traction. We have already 80 requests from 40 countries all over the world. So, and we need to install developers in order to get further with our platform and tracing, because we have a unique technology. We also applied for patent, but we need it's kind of complex system because we do trading and tracing in one application, as we think this is important for seamless tracing in order to avoid food fraud. Because how it is done now with 2 different systems, you have a lot of data lags, and we have the chance to cross-validate the data with our tracing system. And this is why we get Eurofins and SGS and all these certification bodies that they also have sent LOEs that they support our system as unique and outstanding. But we have so far only public funds and 2 business angels, so no Series A, which seems to be a requirement for a rising star.
Yes, I think you're more appropriate for the accelerator. But if you want, I'll leave my email in the chat, and if you want, we can have an individual call.
Oh, would be great. I highly appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'm really looking forward to Spain.
Okay. Where are you based?
In Berlin, in Germany.
Okay. Great. Okay, well, we'll follow up with an individual chat. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Roger, I met you before. How are you? It's your turn.
Very well. Nice to see you again, Juan. Thank you for the presentation, you guys. I have one question more regarding to the application, to the form, because the only part that I see regarding to the idea or to explaining the concept is the question: why would you like to join Seedbed incubator? In my case, is this the part where we should, or is there is another part afterwards that we have to? Okay, because it was okay.
Yeah, that's actually a very good question, because it's a thing that is not clear in our process, and we need to improve for next year's application. But it's a 2-step process. First, you complete your profile, where you have that answer, and then the platform sends you an email to complete your application through another link. So cool. Once you complete your full profile there, well, the only thing is just to categorize you into one of the categories that we need for profiling the startups, then sends you a direct link to your email. If you don't receive that, let us know. Actually, I'll be sharing all the links after this call to all the participants in this call, so you have a clear guide of how to do that. But that's a very good question, Roger. Yes.
All good. Now, another quick question regarding to the Seedbed incubator. Do you provide farmers' contacts in order to do the customer validation for the region that we're applying, or how does it work?
Yeah, if needed, we can. Actually, we have another program on the EIT Food that applications are not open yet. That it's called Test Farms, where we match startups with farmers that are willing to test innovations in their fields, and it's only for that. We finance those pilots. I think is for up to 2 years of piloting, because of the nature of the fields of the farming sector, of the seasons and stuff. But there's another program specific for that. But in Seedbed, you will be doing more validation and interviews with them than pilots, because pilots is or fun or test farms. But you will be having a lot of contact with them.
All right, thank you, Juan.
Welcome. I hope to see your application. I believe, Luisa, you're next.
Hi, hello, Juan, and all of you. I received from you an email yesterday, and you told me about I think we are much more in regenerative agriculture. Yes, and it's not here. That's it. It's not. I'm not in the right place. Where I am.
That's right. Regenerative agriculture and test farms are programs that are not open yet.
Okay.
I put in CC in that email to Philippe, which is a manager of those programs, that will be communicating soon the opening applications for that.
Okay. So thank you. I will be waiting for. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Lisa. I think we have more questions in the chat. Let me check. I have the notifications here. What should be the criteria for choosing the hubs? Should we choose according to the market entry strategies, or choosing the hubs will be automatic? Yeah, you have 2 options for that. If you're in Southern Europe, as I mentioned before, Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece, Turkey, Malta, Cyprus, I strongly recommend you to apply to Bilbao, because it's where we have most of our networks. So the other hubs, we have other advantages, but not a lot of networks in this region, if these are your markets. Yeah, that's very important. If for some reason Bye, Luisa. Thanks for being. If for some reason your market is the Polish market or the German or the British one, then you can apply to those hubs because they will have the connections in those regions to help you validate your product. But you have in the application, you have to select the first option and the second option for your hubs. I hope, Dennis, that's enough. If it's not clear, you can ask again. Federico, you didn't receive the link. Okay, I will share the link to continue the application because that's a common issue. I'm sorry, Federico, for that. But that's been normal in this process. We changed our application platform this year, and we are having some issues there. I'm sorry for all the time that may be consuming. Dennis, okay, that's good. Gabriela, follow up to the call for the farmer. Yes, I think that's the link. I didn't open, but it says test farms. So
okay,
yeah.
so I mean, it is related to the next one. It was a kind of call for supplier.
Yeah, let me open the link that you shared to be sure that this is the link, but it's called test farms.
Okay.
And no, that's a procurement one.
It's procurement. So
that's a procurement one.
So
that's you are looking for an
okay.
organization that help us to deliver that program. You
So
will be it's a previous step. We're organizing this program after the procurement. We will be opening applications. But yeah. Sorry for the open microphone. Don't worry, Vasilis, that's not an issue. Please. Can you please give us an example of a successful EIT food incubator in a bit more details beside finance? Thank you in advance. Yes, in the presentation I showed some of the startups that were incubated last year in Bilbao, and I can tell you really deep startup of, for example, Asolia projects, carbon farming startup that is helping farmers to measure the carbon capturing that they are having, and based on that they can receive some extra incomes. They participated. The CEO had 3 partners that were not very involved in the project because he was most like a lonely CEO. And after the program, now all the partners, all these people that were around him are dedicating full time. They already make a partnership with one really important company in Catalonia, with a binary company in Catalonia to increase their impact, and they are measuring the carbon capturing of them. So besides the funding, which was only 6K, that most of the funding was spent in test and market validation, that they made one partnership, and this participation helped them to professionalize the company and convince their partners to be full-time at the company. So these are the kinds of output. Another one, Viridius Technology from Portugal. They registered the company after the incubator program, and they created a board of advisors. They were able to convince the board of advisors as well because they increased the quality of the professional level of the startups, with the documents, with concrete business plans, with a plan of validation, with pilots, with a roadmap for technology, etc. I hope. Yeah.
And to add, we also have Crover. Crover is an example of a company. They developed a robot that can basically detect any fungi or waste happening in silos where there's grain in it, and it swims through it. But anyway, they developed that technology. They joined the Seedbed, and they needed to do their whole customer validation. And then the following year, they went really fast. They then joined the Accelerator, and now they are they're establishing themselves in various countries and signing agreements with with big agricultural companies. And they also did a very interesting pilot with one of our partners in Bilbao called Grupo AENE, which is a cooperative. And it's a cooperative that directly works with wheat farming. So they were able also to really get some very good contacts. And that was in the Seedbed program, in fact, that they were doing this customer validation through the cooperative that we work with. So yeah, that's also another example of a startup that's gone through the Seedbed and then went to the Accelerator.
Alexandra, it's your turn. Nice to see you here. How are you?
Thank you. It's very nice to be here. It's very good presentation and nice to see you again. I hope that we will work something more. My question is that I am member and I have 2 startups, different with different innovations and with different TRL level, so with different programs. And I would like to, with one startup, be in a pre-seed program. And for the second one is the Rising Food Stars. Is this possible or not?
If you, as you're part-time in both companies, I would say Rising Food Stars is a community of startups. You can dedicate as much time as you can to take the most of that association. Because is that, but for being eligible for Rising Food Stars, for example, you need to have raised a fund up from 2 million euros. Yeah, that's more or less the scale that Rising Food Stars is committing. So if you're before that, if you're earlier than that, I recommend you to go to fund with the second startup. For the pre-seed project, it's actually the project that you delivered in TeamUp, that you were working on TeamUp.
Yes, this is from, and Teresa is here, it's also listening. And Teresa, the second co-founder from TeamUp. We are still together and we will be together for a long time. The TeamUp was a very good program. It made us a good team for Teresa and me. And our plan is to go for a pre-seed program now. Yeah.
After TeamUp, the natural step is going to Seedbed. So I encourage you to apply to Seedbed as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It would be great to have you there as well.
Okay.
Let me check the chat. I have more notifications in the chat. Ines, you don't have a registered company. You're an independent worker. Is that okay to apply? It is. It is. For Seedbed, you don't have to be registered as a company. So you will be in the category of aspiring entrepreneurs, and that's fine. Simone, the deadline would be postponed by a week. That decision will be made on Monday, Simone. We don't have official information yet. So far, all that we know is that the deadline is the 28th of February. It's Monday at midnight. So yeah, according the numbers of the quality of applications and the functioning of the platform, as we mentioned before, it's a new platform. We will be making that decision on Monday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I lost Roger, your hand's raised, and you have I have your first option. I don't know if you still want to ask something. If not, I believe Enrico is next.
Yeah, good morning to everyone, and thank you for your presentation. I have just a question about the financial support, because we are creating university spin-off. So when you mean when you talk about this 6,000 euro or financial of this support to get out of the lab scale to move in a larger and more bigger space, we have to we lose the support of the university. We have to be a startup, or anyway we can remain as university spin-off.
No, you can remain actually. Yeah, and actually a lot of the things that we do it together with the technology transfer offices or the team at the university as well. The thing that we do in Seedbed is help you to be ready to make the next step, but we don't force you to do that.
Okay, so this support anyway, since it's not a big amount, is just to meet stakeholders and so on, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And you can sign the sub-granting agreement as a natural person, as a researcher, not as a company, not representing any company.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Lenia, how I could find if I have applied to Bilbao, Spain? If we let me please write an email to me, I can tell you, because I have to check your application. And if you finish your application, let me check briefly if I find your application by your name. Lenia, here. Adopt Chaos Trees, right? That's your project. Yeah, your first hub was Bilbao and your second was Denmark. That's what I see. You're welcome. And any other questions? Enrico, Alexandra, I see your hands still raised, but I believe that those are still are from the previous questions. If you're fine, if you don't have any other questions, you will be receiving an email from me this afternoon with the links of the recording session, with the PowerPoint, and all the links necessary to complete the proper application. Remember, you have the weekend. You have the more questions there. And you have to record the video for the application. That video, don't overthink it. It's a quick video. You can film it with your cell phone, because we want to meet you as a person, and you can explain the project using your cell phone to record yourself. It's not the quality of that video is not going to be evaluated, but the content and how you explain the project. Okay. Gabriela, it is possible to receive also as an association for financing. It's very likely that if you're an NGO, you will have to check, but you can always receive the funding as a natural person that is leading the project in the future. I will have to check if an association is, because then your name will be linked to a project that maybe is not the final project of the startup. So we will have a problem there, but you can sign it as a natural person.
As a person later.
Yeah.
When it will be established. Okay.
Yeah, and then you will be the founder or the co-founder of a future startup, and that's not a problem, for at least for Seedbed. And Simone, again, the financial support for the accelerator and the rising food stall, beside all other positive effects. Or can you explain a little bit more, Simone? I don't understand the question.
No, my question was, I didn't get quite well, what is the financial support in the accelerator program and the financial support if we choose a rising star, beside all other positive effects of networking and support of education and all these things. I think this is already a great effect and positive effect, but what is the financial side of the accelerator and the rising star?
So the accelerator, you when you are chosen and you participate, you're given a grant of 15,000 euros, so 15,000 euros, and this grant is to support your participation in the program, for travel, for accommodation, and also we encourage, if it's needed for your business, to use it to do any further product development or testing with one of our 3 partners in Bilbao. If you don't, then you use it for the development of your startup, like other things you need. That's and the Rising Food Star, we don't give a budget. It's more that you are part of this association, and when there's a call, like a European call that goes out for collaboration with the partners or the research institutions as a startup, you apply to it, and if you get chosen, you are part of a collaboration between various entities on some theme that will be related to what you're doing.
Okay. Oh, good to know. Yeah. Thank you.
But there's not, you don't get any direct funding because it's not considered that you need it at that. It's more giving you access to collaboration. And
okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, and actually to collaborate with the big, for applying to the big European projects, about several hundred thousand euros, actually.
Thank you. Yeah, we are applying currently for the EIT Accelerator. Thank you.
Nice. Yeah, we work together with them in some projects. That's good to hear. Well, thank you for your very interesting questions. I believe this was informative enough. If you have any other questions, you will be receiving an email from me with all our email addresses that you can always answer. Just try to answer those emails fast because today is Friday and we will be back at work on Monday morning. Okay, so you will have actually the whole Monday as well to finish your application, and we will have that date for responding your doubts. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate you are thinking of applying to one of our programs, and we look forward to reading your applications.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. Have a good Friday and enjoy the weekend and complete your good applications. I hope to see you back again soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.